Welcome to this second video in this foundation training for the Emotional Fitness Gym. In this video, I want to discuss the importance of improving the relationship that you have with yourself. Now, some people look at me quite strangely when I say that they're in relationship with their self because they just see themselves as one entity or one person. But I see things quite differently. You see, you as a person are made up of many different parts. And you've got parts that are confident and you've got parts that are shy. You've got parts that love to be social and you've got others that prefer to be alone. You've got parts that help you to love and you've got parts that are capable of getting angry and standing up for your rights. You've also got parts that are immature and others that are wise. Some of your parts are really healthy and happy, while others have been hurt and are holding on to emotions like sadness, anger, fear, shame, embarrassment, guilt, and regret. And within you, there are parts that don't feel good enough, that believe that they're unlovable and worthy. And many of your parts, particularly the hurt ones, hide deep within you, trapping away their pain only to resurface when you least expect it and least desire it. Now, what I need you to understand is that all of these parts are you. And your job, if you want to become mentally fit and emotionally strong, is to open up to understanding and ultimately loving, valuing, and trusting each and every one of your parts. Because you can't get rid of any part. They're like family members. You're bonded together whether you like it or not. And the only way to improve the quality of your life is to do the necessary work to make peace within and ideally become friends with your many and varied parts. So if you're confused about why you're struggling with anxiety, depression, overwhelm, addiction, or something else, you might want to consider that your inner world may not be a nice or safe place to inhabit for some of your parts. Some of your parts might be fighting or bullying or controlling others. Some of your parts might be hiding because they feel sad, unloved, and alone. And if you're like me, that is before I knew about parts. You may not even be aware that any of this is going on. But getting healthy both mentally and emotionally involves taking personal responsibility for you and the health of your inner life. It requires a willingness to open up to you, all of you, in essence, having no corner of yourself that you're unwilling to explore, understand, and love, because all of your parts deserve your love and attention. A good way for me to describe your parts is by using the analogy of a bus. A bus has many seats. Some seats are right up the front, whilst others are way down the back. And all of these seats represent different parts of you. Some are easily accessible, whilst others aren't. But even though you may have many different parts or seats on your bus, at any time there can only ever be one driver of the bus. This means that any one of your parts can step up and take the wheel and drive your bus. And when a part drives your bus, it steps into your consciousness. Have you ever made a decision about something and you're really happy and confident with your choice, and then all of a sudden you change your mind? When this happens, a different part has jumped into the driver's seat of your bus. And unfortunately, the first part that made the decision wants something different to the part that's now driving. Now, life goes really well when you've got the right part doing the job that it knows how to do and enjoys doing. But problems arise when this doesn't happen. When, for example, you've got a scared and shy part trying to give a presentation, or an angry and mad part trying to meditate. You'll probably experience stress in both of these instances because you've got parts trying to do jobs that they don't want to do and that they're not good at doing. And this is why it's important to create an inner environment where you have access to all of your resources, so the right part can do the job that it was born to do. And so you don't have parts taking on too much work whilst others hide away deep within you doing nothing, which really just causes anger and resentment within you between your parts. So your job, if you want to avoid or minimize mental health problems, is to get all of your parts working together as a team, valuing one another, communicating with one another, and using their natural skills and talents to work towards common goals all together. The truth is that all of your parts want to be helpful. It's just some of your parts are trying to help in ways that cause conflict with other parts, purely because your parts don't know and value one another. And this is now your job to introduce them and get them all communicating. Now, the process of getting your inner world in order is made a bit trickier because of past unresolved pain, which often creates wounded or traumatized parts within you. Let me explain. When you've gone through an emotionally traumatic experience and haven't been able to come to peace with what's gone on, the part that was in the driver's seat of your bus at the time is left holding on to the unresolved emotional baggage. And the typical way that people move on and function in a somewhat incapacitated manner is to banish this wounded part and lock it away in the dungeon of your subconscious mind. To continue our bus analogy, this part is taken from the driver's seat and off the bus and locked away in the baggage compartment underneath. And this part goes from being a valued member of your community to being locked away in the dark, alone and isolated. And it doesn't like being locked away. It also doesn't like holding on to the unresolved pain. And it makes a lot of noise from down below in an attempt to get out. And you have to use a lot of energy that normally would be available for you to enjoy your life, to keep this part and any others locked down there. It also means that you don't trust your parts, and it's how your inner foundation becomes shaky and how your life becomes hard. And to further compound the problem, the noise from the so-called prisoners below starts to disturb the other passengers or healthy parts of you on your bus. And so you have to try to distract these healthy parts from what's really going on by engaging in things that take their focus off the real problem. Now, this process is at the root of virtually every addiction. It's where people unknowingly avoid dealing with the real issue and distract themselves from the inner pain with alcohol, gambling, smoking, and other things to help them to cope. So the way to set yourself free is to move towards what you've always avoided, open the baggage compartment and let these wounded parts out so they can resolve their past hurts and become free. I'll show you how to do this in the gym, but for now, just know it's important to eventually set these parts free. Now, I understand that the thought of doing this can be a bit scary and confronting for some people, and that's okay, because you've got to be ready to truly heal. And I'm not here to force you to do anything you're not comfortable doing. I'm here to educate you so you can make your own choices and take action if and when you're ready. Remember, my job is to empower you when it comes to your own healing. As a whole, your family of parts are stuck together whether you like it or not. And you've got a choice between making your life together pleasant or a struggle. And making life pleasant involves improving the health of your inner world. Creating a safe, respectful, and peaceful inner world is really a critical step in improving your mental health because it addresses the root cause of things like anxiety, depression, overwhelm, and addiction, and creates a solid foundation to build the rest of your life upon. I hope this video has helped you to understand why the relationship with yourself is important when it comes to mental health. And I look forward to continuing our journey in the next video where I'll be sharing how your external relationships also impact on mental health. See you then. Bye for now. Mwah.